over, but it's worth repeating. These storms moving extremely quickly. They are moving at 40, 50 miles per hour. That means if a tornado warning is issued, which we now have for northwestern Columbus County and western sections of Bladen County, that you don't have very long to react. Now, we know very, very cold. Here's the setup. You got a big polar vortex right now parked across the eastern part of Canada. What that is doing is literally opening the door for polar air, and guess what? That polar air is moving right into southeastern North Carolina and across much of the eastern United States.
Just Eric Davis with us in the studio, though, getting everybody ready for the Christmas forecast and the possibility that we might see some snow. And my request.
Like it matters.
Aw.
Well, like it's going to affect anything.
Well, that's true. But just to see it coming down.
Yeah, you've been watching this unfold. What do you think now?
Well, I was just looking at some of the latest the circulation, and it looks like, we can't say for sure that this is going to be the case, but it looks like Bladenboro may get lucky in the circulation passing just a little bit north of town. But remember, Bladenboro, you are still technically under a tornado warning, and it does, this new tornado warning does include Elizabethtown and basically points to the north and west. Garland, very close to being in this tornado warning area as well. Let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit closer. I think Rob was mentioning a few minutes ago the town of Butters. Let's go ahead a little bit. Remember what we've been talking about. The circulation center is going to be kind of to the south here, probably a little bit south of where you are right now, Colin. I think a little bit, if we can go down just a little bit here. Okay, no problem. And but again, we want to emphasize again the northwestern half of Bladen County right now under this tornado warning, as well as much of Robeson County. And it looks like again the circulation center, it looks like maybe jogging a little bit further to the north, which might be good news for Bladenboro, but certainly still very much in the path of destruction. And I think, Colin, it might be a good time maybe to, if we could pop up the radial velocities, maybe we can get a little better sense of maybe where the circulation center is, and maybe we're going to let's try to really zoom down on it, and maybe we can kind of give people a better sense of where it's going. Look at that. Wow, the circulation center really looking very impressive. This is Highway 211 right here. Bladenboro over here. Remember, still under the tornado warning. So there's your circulation center, very close to, if not right in the vicinity of Highway 211. So probably now, Colin, the best thing to do would be, here's Lumberton here just for a point of reference. So it looks like the storm is the tornadic part of the storm, if in fact the storm is producing a tornado. Again, we haven't had a confirmed report of a tornado on the ground, at least as of yet, but very strong indications of rotation, no doubt about that. And what we need to do, and again, you can see the town of Allenton right here. So we're talking about the circulation very close to that town. There is Butters. That's what meteorologist Rob Ellis was mentioning a few moments ago. So it looks like the circulation center, assuming it's moving in an east-northeastward direction, probably going to be passing just to the north, very close past to Butters, but it's certainly going to be something worth watching. Let's zoom out just a little bit, Colin, and do a storm track and kind of give a sense of maybe some of the towns that could be in jeopardy here. We'll do it off the velocity scan. So let's pick this area right here to start the storm track. I like that angle pretty good. Yeah, about 40, 50 miles per hour, I believe, is the path of the storm. Okay. Assuming that's the case, we're going to see the circulation center and possible tornado passing very close to Elizabethtown now in about 20 minutes. So if you live in Elizabethtown, now is the time to go ahead and get into your safe locations. I'm going to have just a few moments. I'm going to go back to Colin here and remind people in around Elizabethtown and in the path of this possible tornado what they need to do. But for now, Elizabethtown about 20 minutes from now. White Lake, if the circulation center holds together, 30 minutes. And Garland, not technically under the tornado warning, at least as of yet, but the storm right now, or at least the circulation center, is about 40 minutes from your location. So as we said, we don't have a lot of time to react once these tornado warnings come out. When you're talking about storms moving 40, 50 miles per hour, you don't have a lot of time to react to these particular storms. Let's go back to the typical radar, the reflectivity, which is what we typically look at when we're looking at a storm. So that kind of gives us a good idea of where we're heading. Remember, the northwestern half of Bladen County under that tornado warning, it's very close to the Garland area. Again, as we said, the circulation center could be in the vicinity of Garland within about 40 minutes, about 20 minutes from now in Elizabethtown, and of course the eastern half of Robeson County, where we've been seeing the circulation center not too far away from Proctorville, and now moving up towards Highway 211 as we speak. Colin, probably a good time to remind folks, especially in Elizabethtown, now that the storm is only about 20 minutes away, what they need to be doing.
Yeah, I like to reset. That's a great idea, Eric. Just in case you're joining us now, we do have a...
The Strawberry Festival begins today in Chadburn in Columbus County. Let's check back in with Eric Davis. He is live out there this morning for our weather on the 6s. Eric?
Yeah, Kev, I know we've had a lot of questions about some of the specific things going on at the
Strawberry Festival, and I've got just the person to help answer those questions. And that person, Deb Wilson, who's the president of the Strawberry Festival. She's going to tell us all about the events going on this weekend. Now, of course, we all know about strawberries, Strawberry Festival, hot air balloons going on behind us, but there's a lot more to the Strawberry Festival. Why don't you tell us about some of the other big events going on this weekend?
Right. Well, starting in the morning, we're registering for the antique car show and the bike show, and then we have an excellent lineup of entertainment that will start at 9:30 in the morning and run all the way through 9:30 at night. And of course, the Strawberry Festival Parade that starts at 2 o'clock. There's just really a lot of something for everybody. We'll have, I understand we're going to have lawnmower races, you know, lots of things for the kids to do, some pony rides, and the weather's going to be great. So everybody just come on out and enjoy it. We'd love to see you. And Eric, we got you all some fresh strawberries right here in Chadbourn.
Fresh strawberries, gotta love that. Especially gotta love the fresh fruit, the local fruit too, with all those high prices at the grocery store. One other question here: how many balloons are we going to have out here this weekend?
I think we have about 26, and there are excursion rides available. Those are by appointment, of course, and then they'll be offering tethered rides, the weather permitting. Of course, yeah.
That means pressure on me. I think that's the translation. I think for the most part we're going to be able to deliver, Deborah. Let's go ahead and take a look at our forecast for today, and it really is a
Freezing point. Let's get some more details on that and the rain on the way from Eric this morning. Good morning, Eric.
Good morning. This time of year we like to have a little bit of distance between ourselves and the freezing point. We certainly didn't have that yesterday when we saw a record low of 31 degrees in Wilmington. This morning, though, I'm happy to report we're in the 50s. But if you're looking for a beautiful spring day, you're going to be disappointed because we do think rain chances are going to ramp up in a big way here later on this morning. Already some isolated showers moving across the area with more substantial rain right now in the western sections of North Carolina. But at least we're not dealing with severe weather. You can already see a tornado watch box in effect basically for southern Alabama and much of the Florida panhandle. I do think the severe weather threat should remain off to our south today, but we are going to have at least the potential for some thunderstorms later on this afternoon. Right now, though, the most substantial rain north of the Triangle area up towards the Virginia border. You can also see quite a bit of rainfall now moving into Charlotte and also moving into the Triad area. The rain pretty concentrated back in the mountains and back into parts of Tennessee as well. We have a little bit of rain, though, to contend with right here in the area. You can see some light showers right now from Clinton along Highway 701 stretching down towards Elizabethtown. A few more sprinkles as you head over into Duplin County as well. And it looks like we may have another little developing shower right here around the Bolivia area, and then another little shower which is also starting to pop up just off of Carolina Beach. But again, most of the rain so far this morning isolated and light, but it's likely to get heavier and more widespread here as we progress through the day. Current temperatures 52 in Wilmington, Jacksonville at 50 degrees, Fayetteville at 47, 49, Lumberton and 51 degrees in Whiteville. So again, quite a bit of distance this morning between us and the freezing mark. So most of the shower activity on the light side this morning as we take a look at our hour-by-hour forecast. More substantial rain across the western and central parts of the state, but that substantial rain starts to shift into southeastern North Carolina by 2 o'clock this afternoon. Temperatures will be in the 60s. I think the surface conditions not going to be real conducive for severe thunderstorms, but we are going to see some rather strong thunderstorms with localized heavy rain and maybe some gusty winds as well. East winds around 12 miles per hour. Most of the thunderstorm activity should begin to wind down, though, as we head into the evening hours. Leftover showers for much of the evening hours, and then probably a break for much of tomorrow morning and maybe even into the early afternoon hours before a second area of low pressure begins to move in here. That's going to bring another round of rain to the area late tomorrow into tomorrow night, and some of that rain probably sticking around at least through Friday morning. After we get past Friday morning, though, it looks like we begin to clear out, and that will set the stage for a very nice weekend. How much rain are we looking at? Well, maybe a substantial amount of rainfall. It looks like a lot of us could be in line for 1 inch plus rainfall totals and really heavy rains. It looks like off to our south. Look at Charleston and Savannah. They're projected to pick up about 2 to 4 inches of rain, according to our exclusive hour-by-hour forecast model. So 65 for today. We're just talking light showers this morning, but the rainfall will ramp up in both intensity and also become more widespread. Winds shift around to the southeast later today. Not a good day along the coast for boating. We're going to be just below small craft advisory criteria. And the first alert planning forecast, 65 for today, 58 tomorrow with rain chances, particularly late in the day. And then after some showers on Friday morning, we begin to clear things out. And that does pave the way for a nice weekend. Mostly sunny, 63 on Saturday, 65 on Sunday. And then next week, maybe some thunderstorms as we head towards Tuesday. But again, nice but cool conditions for your weekend forecast. Kim.
All right, thanks a lot, Eric. At 9 minutes after 6, time for a look at traffic around the
Latest from Chadbourn, I'm Colin Hackman. Let's go ahead and send it back inside to you all.
All right, it is time for the First Alert forecast. Now a little bit after 6 past the hour, and First Alert Digital Doppler looks a lot more impressive than it really is, but we do have now snow falling in a lot of places across southeastern North Carolina. A lot of it's still on the light side. We've been talking about this very dry air mass that's still in place across the area, and that's the reason why a lot of the snow that's falling not reaching the ground, at least as of yet, but some flurries and certainly some light snow is starting to reach the ground, and we are starting to get some accumulation reports, as Colin mentioned, back around Columbus County, and I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to get even more accumulation around Bladen County, where winter storm warnings are in effect, particularly back towards I-95, and even around Sampson, Duplin, and Onslow County. Better chance that the snow is reaching the ground, but even around Murrayville, some reports of at least a little bit of some flurries now starting to reach the ground. But there's plenty of precipitation back towards the west. Don't worry, we're not going to run out of precipitation today. That is certainly not going to be an issue. But what is going to happen throughout the day, a lot of times we're talking about precipitation type, we're looking at a column of air in the vertical levels of the atmosphere. Right now, that entire column is below freezing, but as we progress through the day, we're going to start to see warmer air begin to overrun this column, and some of the snow is going to start to change over to freezing rain and sleet. Still very cold at the surface, so icy conditions are possible. So we're starting off with snow, then changing to freezing rain and sleet, and then later on this afternoon, closer to the coastline, we'll start to see a change over to rain. So a very complicated forecast, but the bottom line is the further away from the coast you are, the more ice, the more snow you're going to see. The closer you are to the coast, you're not going to see quite as much in the way of ice and snow, but certainly even here, some accumulation is probably going to be a very good bet. This is the snowfall forecast. Obviously, what's going on right now and through much of the morning, that's where most of our snow is going to fall. And we indeed are going to see some impressive totals, 3-inch plus totals around Fayetteville, maybe portions of Bladen County. But as you can see, as you get closer to the coastline in Wilmington, we may be looking at totals closer to an inch, maybe even less than an inch, right along the immediate coastline. And then, depending on exactly where you are between Fayetteville and Wilmington, that's where your snowfall totals will probably fall. Now, our Precision Cast forecast model, remember, the purples here and the whites indicating snow, the pinks indicating that mixed bag of precipitation, the freezing rain and sleet, and then the green, of course, is the all rain scenario. As we head towards noontime, you notice most of the area in the pink, we start to see the snows begin to retreat. So freezing rain and sleet for most of us here as we head towards noontime, and that's going to hold on for much of the afternoon, particularly in our inland counties where we're going to see more accumulation of ice. But note some green starting to show up near the coast. That's when the change over to rain will likely occur in Wilmington. So probably by tonight, it's all rain here in Wilmington, but inland counties, we may hold on to some of the freezing rain and sleet for a while longer as temperatures will hover very close to the freezing mark. Very tricky forecast as the area of low pressure will be just off our coast by tomorrow morning and then beginning to slide away. And at that point, we should start to see things quiet down. It is 32 right now here at the station. We may get down to the 20s before all is said and done as the snow continues to fall at 8 o'clock. Mixed bag of freezing rain and sleet as we head towards noontime. And then here in Wilmington, we change over to all rain by about 4 o'clock. But inland counties, that process will be much slower. You'll have a much longer period of frozen precipitation. First Alert planning forecast 42 for tomorrow. Some rain early in the day and then bitterly cold Wednesday through Friday. Look at the highs falling into the 30s by Friday, lows in the teens. And then finally by the weekend, a little bit of a recovery. 48 mostly sunny on Saturday. And boy, doesn't that 55 look good on Sunday. Bob and Kim.
It really does.
It sure does. Well, Elizabeth.